A cat called Mera accomplished something that nobody could have ever dreamed of. She not only cared for her own kittens, she also took in 4 orphaned baby squirrels that were motherless. Mera, formerly just an ordinary shelter cat, turned into an unlikely hero by embracing these tiny beings into her family and nurturing them as if they were her own. It all began when the squirrels were discovered alone, neglected in a tree that was chopped down during regular upkeep. Deprived of their mother, their odds of survival were low, but due to Mera's unexpected maternal instincts, their destiny changed significantly. Today, we will narrate the complete tale of how this unexpected family united, how Mera took on the role of their guardian, and how the affection and attention from one cat transformed the lives of these vulnerable squirrels eternally. Keep listening, as what follows will genuinely touch your heart. In the quaint town where this tale takes place, the arrival of spring usually prompts the local officials to check the parks and forested regions for trees that require removal. This day appeared ordinary. A team of laborers was felling several aged trees that threatened the safety of visitors. One after another, the trees toppled until they arrived at an old oak that had been growing for many years. As the chainsaw roared and the tree crashed to the earth, the workers observed something strange within the tree's hollow. Hidden within were 4 tiny baby squirrels, their eyes barely opened, their bodies delicate and small. Instantly, the workers paused their activities, feeling disheartened at the view. The mother squirrel could not be located, and it was evident that these young ones had been abandoned. The clock was ticking for the baby squirrels. Deprived of their mother, their chances of survival were minimal. The employees did what they could. They collected the small beings and reached out to the nearby animal rescue center. The shelter personnel, accustomed to managing neglected pets and hurt animals, were quickly affected by the circumstance, but they also recognized that caring for infant squirrels was a challenging undertaking. They needed ongoing nourishment, heat, and safeguards. A shelter worker, who was passionate about animals, came up with an idea. It was audacious and perhaps somewhat hazardous, but dire situations necessitated extreme actions. Mera, a mother cat at the shelter who had just given birth to a group of kittens, was recognized for her caring nature. Perhaps, just perhaps, Mera might assist. Cats and squirrels aren't typically natural allies in the wild. A cat could view a squirrel as potential prey. Yet the shelter team thought Mera's nurturing instincts might surpass those innate hunting drives. Cradling the baby squirrels that were softly squeaking, they neared Mera's enclosure, optimistic, yet ready for negative outcomes. As they carefully positioned the baby squirrels close to Mera, the atmosphere in the room was charged with anxiety. Would she embrace them, or would she perceive them as something to pursue? Initially, Mera appeared hesitant. She sniffed the small beings, her whiskers quivering as she meticulously inspected every single one. The shelter staff paused, observing her every action intently. And then something unexpected occurred. Mera, rather than backing off or hissing, started to lick each baby squirrel individually. She groomed them as if they were her own cats. It was an astounding scene, a hunter displaying genuine warmth towards what is typically its prey. From that point forward, Mera took on the role of guardian for the baby squirrels. She cared for them with her kittens, allowing them to cuddle into her fur and stay warm. The young squirrels, initially scared and disoriented by their unfamiliar environment, started to calm down. They held on to Mera as if she were their real mother, instinctively looking for solace and security in her company. However, this wasn't merely a tale of motherly affection. It was a tale of endurance. The shelter workers soon recognized that Mera's milk was insufficient to nourish her kittens and the squirrels. The young squirrels required additional attention. The team started working in shifts, feeding the squirrels with bottles every few hours, and ensuring they received the nutrients required for their growth. It was a demanding job, yet everyone was determined not to abandon these small lives. With each passing day, the connection between Mera and her exceptional offspring deepened. The young squirrels, completely confident in their adoptive mom, trailed her around, imitating the actions of her kittens. They climbed onto her back, snuggled against her side, and even began to play with their kitten brothers and sisters. It was a peculiar and delightful view. Squirrels and kittens nurtured together as a single family. The tale of Mera and the baby squirrels quickly spread beyond the confines of the shelter. A staff member shared some pictures online, and before anyone realized, the story had spread widely. Individuals globally were fascinated by the unique family, and the shelter received a surge of supportive messages. Contributions flowed in, enabling the shelter to sustain their efforts, and guests traveled from all around, merely to see Mera and her rescued squirrels. For weeks, Mera's family transformed into the core of the shelter. The baby squirrels became more robust with each day, flourishing under Mera's attention and the vigilant gaze of the shelter staff. The kittens also became healthy and robust, and the connection between the two species strengthened. It was a vision that moved all who witnessed it. However, as time passed, the workers at the shelter realized they had to confront an unavoidable choice. The young squirrels were maturing rapidly, and shortly, they would have to be returned to their natural habitat. It was a mixed feeling of sweetness and sadness. Mera had done an exceptional job nurturing them, but they were ultimately still wild creatures. Their inherent instincts would ultimately prevail, and they would have to go back to the woods where they were meant to be. The team got ready for the day when the squirrels would have enough strength to exit the shelter. They gradually started moving the baby squirrels to more self-sufficient feeding, enabling them to investigate their environment beyond Mera's enclosure. Yet, as they explored the world, the connection between the squirrels and their adoptive mother stayed strong. Mera observed them intently, constantly mindful of their actions, always prepared to greet them upon their return. Then the day arrived. The squirrels, now fully matured, were set to be freed into the wild. It was a day filled with emotion for all at the shelter, particularly for the staff who had looked after them since they were discovered in that hollow tree. The baby squirrels had journeyed a long way, evolving from small vulnerable beings into robust, self-sufficient creatures prepared to tackle the world. The release occurred in a nearby woodland, close to the location where they were initially discovered. When the shelter staff unlocked the carrier's doors, the squirrels paused momentarily, appearing uncertain about their next move. However, their innate instincts activated shortly after. One at a time, they dashed into the trees, ascending higher and higher until they vanished among the branches. It was a time of victory, yet also of sorrow. Mera, the feline that had rescued them, remained at the shelter. Her role as their guardian was complete. She went back to nurturing her kittens, who were maturing rapidly as well. But she felt a sense of pride within her. She accomplished something remarkable, something that challenged the principles of nature. Mera's tale didn't stop there. She stayed at the shelter, a community hero to everyone who came. Her popularity kept increasing, attracting visitors from across the country who wanted to meet the cat that had taken in baby squirrels. For Mera, it was simply another day in her role as a mother, a position she wholeheartedly accepted, regardless of her baby's species. The young squirrels, now returned to nature, sometimes showed up near the shelter area. Certain members of the staff claimed they had spotted them racing through the trees, as if they remembered their origins. And maybe they didn't. Ultimately, Mera provided them with more than mere food and shelter. She offered them an opportunity for life. Ultimately, This narrative serves as a testament to the strength of love and the connections that can develop in the most unexpected situations. Mera, a cat who could have simply acted on her instincts, opted for compassion instead. She took on the role of a mother to beings that, under normal circumstances, would have been her victims. In doing this, she reminded everyone that love has no limits, not even across different species. The next time you reflect on the natural order of life, keep Mera and her baby squirrels in mind, as the most remarkable connections can arise in the most surprising circumstances. We appreciate you watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like our video and subscribe for additional content. We care about you.